One person who catches Procol boss monster from the inside. There is a pattern of playing with 7 people who catch thoughts from the outside. Go inside and decide one person in advance. Please set PvP skill for one person who goes inside. Inner is clay grenade or frost grenade, or flash grenade, and sleep bomb. Time stop potion. Outside is whirlwind bomb or flame grenade, and sleep bomb. Time stop potion. The way to get inside. When all 8 of us are outside. Stagger your thoughts. A yellow line is randomly connected to one person. On the head of the member connected to the line. When the meter is finished, it goes inside. If you go between the lines of the member with the meter, you can take over the line instead. Init boss monster is grants push immunity, and abnormal immunity of white. There's black where attack goes in without immunity. Procol becomes white when abnormal immunity. I will explain it separately by white and purple. You can check it with the buff below HP. Abnormal immunity white is difficult, so abnormal immunity should be eliminated. To remove abnormal immunity, use the stagger meter under the HP bar, or sometimes it disappears depending on HP. Abnormal immunity will be lost if HP is 128 or lower. After that, the HP 80 will have abnormal immunity again, and become white. Abnormal immunity disappears when you reach the last HP 48, or stagger. Under HP 40, purple will be hidden. Use enhanced patterns. A weak buff. Every time you kill an outside mind, Procol has a weakened debuff. The amount of damage Procol receives per overlap increases by 10%. An air of thought. The increasing damage to the debuff is accumulated every 25 seconds. The way to get rid of the debuff should go outside. The only way to get out is when you kill Procol's mind from the outside. A portal is created in the upward direction. You can use this portal to go outside and get rid of the debuff. However, the maximum number of times you can enter the inside is 3 times. If you pass the number of times, all die. A jewel in the pantomime. If members kill 25 externally fortified little monsters inside, an ether called a jewel in the pantomime is created. If you eat this ether, it becomes invincible for 10 seconds. Clay grenade. If you throw clay grenade at Procol from the inside, for 20 seconds, the normal clay grenade reduces attack and movement speed by 20%. Shining clay grenade decreased by 40%. It becomes easier for you to attack. But if you don't have abnormal immunity skill or defense skills, the use of frost or flash grenade is better for survival. Choose the one that suits you. A pattern of reinforcement. If Procol becomes HP 40 or less. If you played the last stagger with hidden, Procol's pattern is strengthened. In most cases, the damage and the range or number of attacks increase. Stagger. Every time you kill an outside mind, the inner Procol becomes a stagger for a moment. If you tell me in advance every time you kill someone outside, it's easy to attack by gathering sidereal's skill or damage. Sidereal skill. Sidereal skill is used by the person who plays inside as the reader. Use Therain and Azina. Therain is about HP 11 line damage. Azina gives HP 7 degree damage to boss monster. Therain has a high damage, but is often avoided by boss monster. When Procol becomes a stagger, it is recommended to hang above the status and attack the target. Azina tracks and attacks the procket, so if you want to attack it safely, use Azina. A pattern that seems to kill you right away if you get hit, a burn and rush. The procket holds the red sword to the side of his face. After getting ready, they make a dash attack with the alter ego. If you're attacked by Procol or your alter ego, you're in captivity, and then you're given a deathly large damage. If you don't have a debuff that reduces the damage or defenses you receive, you can hold out with a buff or shield. Even Gun Lancer can't survive if you're in a state of debuff. In a rush attack, the alter ego attacks Landon's position. Procol was on the verge of a rush because it redirects toward the target. It's hard to avoid. The way to break the pattern is, when it's abnormal immunity white, before you rush, eat time stop potion, move from side to side, and avoid with move skill. However, to avoid it with a mobile device, even if you are attacked by an alter ego, you receive enough damage to be imprisoned and killed. We recommend an easy way to use time stop potion. Gun Lancer can be prevented from confinement with counter spear. When Procol is in the purple state. Don't panic when you're in a rush position. Calm down. You just have to bet more than you have. If you don't have any abnormal skills, please use Sleep Bomb, Flash Grenade, or Frost Grenade. Unless your skills are off the mark, or you're in a situation where you're not in a state of mind. Use time stop potion as in white or avoid with move skill. A second pattern that would kill you right away. Purple sword energy pattern. After the proc fired purple sword energy up to 4 times at the target. Insert the spear and swing it quickly. And the thing to note is, if you get hit by purple sword energy, you get a defense destroying debuff. Swinging damage is very painful. If you don't have shield or damage reduction buffs, you almost get a dead damage. Even if you have a buff, it's hard to survive if you have a debuff. The way to avoid it is to avoid sword energy by running to the line when it is white. Use time stop potion, shield, and defense skills when a spear attack occurs. Other than that, just like the pattern of burning up in front. Status abnormal skill when purple, or you can hang the battle item above the status. A catch pattern. After Procol got the blue spear and got ready, teleport to the target location and make a catch attack. If you get caught, put it on the ground once on both sides. Throw forward, attack one more time with one line. If you get hit by a red attack with one line, a defense destroying debuff is created that does not disappear until you go outside. The catch pattern can be easily avoided because the pre-action is longer than expected. Hidden pattern. Whether it's Procol's HP 40 or lower, the pattern that comes out when you do the last stagger. Knight of Phantom from outside. Little monster comes out riding a horse. If you kill this little monster outside, hidden will be released. When HP reaches 40, let the external member know in advance. Tell them to kill little monster quickly. Counter cutting. Procol picks up the sword and the counter attack is activated. If you fail, swing the sword once from now on. Jump. Procol jumps, takes a shot, and swings his spear. After that, I jump again and shoot it with one line. If you get hit when you take it down, you'll faint. If you're hit by a swinging spear, you'll get stiff. At the end, you fall. Teleporting. Procol teleports and attacks with short sword. Attack up to 4 times, and counter attack comes in randomly. If you get short sword, you get dark debuff. If you get hit by a counter attack, you'll faint. Try to avoid the counter as much as possible. Little pattern. Even with a little pattern, the damage is strong. If the debuffs are stacked, they can die into little patterns. Laser Pizza pattern. Procol floats in the air and makes laser pizza 3 times. Damage hurts, but you can avoid it by moving left and right. An explosive rush. Procol rushes with a sword to the left or right. At this point, an explosion occurs in the direction of lifting the sword. If you are hit by an airstrike, you will get a defense destroying debuff that does not disappear until you go outside. A Backstep Laser. Procol looks straight ahead and shoots a laser. At this point, Procol was pushed back and forth. The laser extends to 1, 3, 5, 7. Once you get hit, you keep getting hit. Bleed pad. The Procol crouches and a pad is formed in a random position. After that, the chain comes out of pad and attacks. If you are hit by this attack, you will be pushed out and caught and bleed. After the chain attack, the exploding red pad, which continuously gives damage to several places, remains for 10 seconds, and then disappears. Even if you light up the red pad, you get a damage and get bleed. Be careful. A blade twister. Procol wields a red sword. The pad explodes in the shape of a Kree fan in the front. At this point, the short sword rotates in a whirlwind shape and explodes at a random position. Afterwards, an after image remains in the random location for further attacks. A down shot. Procol holds the sword and strikes from 1 to 3. It's easy to avoid because the attack is slow and simple. Pad explodes up to 4 times. Be careful because you will fall if you get hit by this explosion. A chain of hooks. Like Gun Lancer's chain of hooks, it's thrown straight ahead and dragged. At this time, if you were hit by an attack that was dragged, you even make a stab attack. Flying spear. Procol hits 5 spears at the target. Because the action time is long and the direction of the fly is fixed. Attack when 5 spear are fixed. Spear throwing. Procol throws a spear at the target. If you get hit by the spear, it's stiff. The range is bigger than I thought. Short sword and jump. Procol throws a short lord forward. After jumping to the spot. One more rush attack on the target. Kicking. Procol kicks in. We're going to launch a linked attack. Swing. Procol wields short sword 3 times. At this point, if you hit the short sword, you will receive an additional laser attack. Dark attack. Procol quickly throws a purple short sword forward. Strike with a red short sword. If you hit short sword, you get a dark debuff. Finally, there are 2 special patterns. A freezing pattern. Procol collects blue energy and freezes it. At the end of the day, you can avoid it with abnormal condition immunity. Counter spear-like immune skills. Alternatively, there is a way to avoid using awakening, a recovery pattern. Procol collects yellow energy and recovers. If you add a stagger at this time, you can prevent recovery. If the stagger fails, recover HP 7 with a falling attack. Outside patterns inner HP 135, exterior orange orb pattern. Outside patterns inner HP 110, exterior red-blue pattern. Outside patterns inner HP 80, exterior stagger orb clear pattern. Outside patterns inner HP 45, exterior red orb pattern. Because the outer pattern is determined according to the HP of the inner Procol, please let members know in advance. Next, before you know the pattern of the external boss monster, let me introduce the concepts that you must know first. Little monster. As you deal with the thought, little monster is continuously created. When there are 30 little monsters, all die. You can see the number of overlays under boss monster HP. Enhance little monster. Little monsters will be strengthened after the debuff of enhancing thought under boss monster. Shock and Phantom's complement. Kill 25 fortified little monsters. The shock buffs overlap to 25 and boss monster becomes a stagger. Inside, an ether called Phantom's Book is created, which is invincible for 10 seconds. A body of thought. The outside boss monster, the musket, continues to resurrect until the inside Procol dies. At this time, the internal Procol is neutralized whenever the external thought body dies. Every time the contemplative body dies, the damage that Procol suffers increases, and the debuff accumulates one by one. Kill as many thoughts as you can. If the HP of the internal Procol is running out. Outside, it is also good to keep the HP of the mind low, and stop the attack, and wait. An important pattern. Since the external critical pattern appears for each specific HP in the internal Procol, if you can communicate with the members inside and brief them, you can prepare ahead and clear the pattern relatively. Next is external boss monster. It's an important pattern of thought. Orange orb. If the HP of the internal Procol is 135, the external boss monster moves to the center. 3 orange orbs following the target. Orb dies if one person eats more than 2. Everyone should be scattered and eat orb one by one. Those who ate orb have a double-layered debuff called the Curse of Phantom. You have to erase this debuff so that you can pass over the pattern without dying. There are 2 ways to clear the debuff. First, each person eats 1 orb, and a total of 3. At 11, 1 and 6 o'clock, we come out of the diamond statue. If you hit the diamond card twice, the debuff duplex disappears. However, this way, members with low HP can die from being hit by a diamond card. Because the orange orb is constantly coming out of the stone statue, if you repeat after eating orb and getting hit by the card, HP will go down, so it's hard. The second one is, each person eats 1 orb. It's a way to get rid of the stone statue, by lumping it together with a diamond statue. Only 3 people should have orange orb and have a debuff. If you hit the diamond card twice in the middle while moving, the debuff overlap will be eliminated. Be careful not to get hit twice. It's okay to get a diamond card once. Get together at 6 o'clock and avoid the motion of exploding with a red pad under the stone statue. Then, go to the stone statue position at 1 o'clock and 11 o'clock and erase all the stone statues. This way, the stone statue disappears, so the orange orb doesn't come out anymore. It's easy to attack because even diamond cards don't fly anymore. The order in which the statues are erased is irrelevant. If you erase all the statues, the debuff disappears. Red-blue pattern. When HP 110 in the internal procket. To random people get red and blue pad. The external boss monster moves to the center. Export multiple purple orb. At this time, 2 people who have pad die if they get hit by purple orb. Be careful not to fit the purple orb, and the members with the pad do not overlap each other. You just have to stay apart on both sides. Member without pad eats only one purple orb. If you see a red or blue mark on your head, you can stand on the same pad as the display color. Member without pad must eat only one purple orb. You'll die if you eat two. Stagger and orb clear. When the internal procal becomes HP 80, the external boss monster moves to the center, and then stagger. At this point, the inside and outside of the boss monster are exploding pad. Don't be near boss monster as soon as stagger is over. Watch the pad explode and get closer. After that, the pizza pattern comes out. 2. Failure of the stagger until the end of the pizza pattern is annihilated. If you succeed in the stagger, you must process the 4 orb generated at 12, 3, 6, and 9. One of these members randomly gets a mark above their head. The signer finds black orb. You can adjust the laser that boss monster shoots to the black orb. But if you get hit by a laser, die. You can avoid it sideways when the overhead mark disappears. Unmarked member must remove the remaining 3 orb. White orb can be eliminated by hitting several times. Purple orb can be eliminated with high damage skills. For the purple orb with the stagger meter, you can do stagger. If you can't handle any orb. If you can't fit the laser on the black orb, all die. Red orb. When HP 45 in the inner procal. After the external boss monster moves to the center, a red orb is created with a cross-shaped pad at 12, 3, 6, and 9. This red orb needs to be destroyed and put into orb. There is a limit on the number of people who have to go inside. There is a green dot on the red orb. The number of green spring points is the number of people who can enter the red orb. 3 dots can hold up to 3 people. 2 or 1 person can go in. If 4 people go in, the last one who comes in dies. Even if you can't get into red orb, you'll die. During this pattern, a square cube falls and it becomes rigid when it is hit. Here's a little monster. When you attack an external boss monster, you have a guideline. Little monster appears nearby. If you don't kill little monster, you get fascinated or lithiated. Little monster has black, white, stone, and horse. Black monster periodically creates a captive pad. White monster becomes a stagger after a while, and when stagger fails, the members around it become fascinated. The dreaded pad keeps coming out. Stone has a big blue pad. If you look at stone inside the blue pad, you get lithiated. If you're in the blue pad, look back, or go outside. Only a member with a knife mark on his head can kill stone. If the healer has a mark, just wait a moment for the other member to have a knife mark. Last is horse monster. It's a monster that comes out only once when it becomes HP 40 in the internal procal. Because until you kill horse monster, the inner procal is in a hidden state. Kill horse monster quickly. Kill horse monster first, even if you have an ulterior motive. The following is an introduction to the little pattern of the external ideological body. Avoid orb that gives you a damage that almost kills you if you get hit among little patterns. After the external boss monster moves to the center, export the large orb and the small orb. We launch a black orb that follows the nearest target. If you get this black orb, you get almost deathly damage. The other normal orb only gets stiffness and a little damage, even if it's right. Since the normal orb moves counterclockwise, move clockwise and avoid. Mana attack pattern. The pattern of pulling the jaw as if the contemplative body were breathing in, and then making a bracing or laser attack forward. There is a pattern of attacking bristles or lasers while rotating at 360 degrees. At this point, mana disappears when he is hit by a brace or laser attack. If I get hit many times, it hurts because I receive damage, as well as MP. A safe zone. After the external boss monster exploded into a cross and an X, creates a donut-shaped pad. If you go inside the yellow pad, you won't get a damage. Exploding pad. The musket howls, and a pad that explodes after a while under the corroder's feet. If you keep stepping on this pad, you'll get damaged, so throw it out as much as possible. Exploding pad. There's an explosion around boss monster. There are several randomly exploding pads. Exploding pad. Exploding pad 2. There are 3 pad explosions around the member. If the pad is lumped together, it hurts a lot if you get hit several times, so take it out. Jump. Boss monster jumps. After jumping, make a whirlwind attack. If you get hit by the whirlwind, it flies so far away, and it hurts so much. Face. My thoughts shudder and I hit 8 face. At this point, an explosion attack and a pad occur at the location where face arrived. Pizza. The musket floats in the air and attacks in the shape of a pizza. The action time is long, so you can easily avoid it. Wave. The musket moves to the center, and there are wave attacks all over the map. Avoid between wave and wave. It hurts a little, so be careful. Circular pad. Explodes into a circle around boss monster. The cross pad. A cross pad appears underneath boss monster and explodes shortly afterwards. Dark pad. When the member dies inside, a curtain is created that will hang on the dark for 5 seconds. When it touches the outer shell,